Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to show you in this video how to make a GIF that has some color shifting in it. So if we look at a couple examples here, we've got this particular GIF that just changes color schemes. We've got this one which has color kind of radiating out from the middle. And then we've got this one which just has some color shifting happening within it. So I'm going to show you how to create an effect kind of similar to that. We're going to start off with this art in the sample folder. We're going to bring it open in Photoshop here. Let's see, so the first thing, we'll check the image size. It's not too bad. I'm going to bring it down to 900 just to make it a little easier to work with. And then over here on your navigator, you can bring that up to 100%. If you don't have your navigator, go to Window Navigator to get that up. Okay, so now we basically have a black and white drawing, but I want it to be kind of like this example where you can see the black and white, but there's colors behind it. So basically I'm going to have to lift out the black first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Image and then Adjustment, and I'm looking for Levels here. So I'm going to go into Levels, and what I'm basically going to do is make this very high contrast. So I'm going to get this slider over here to the right. I'm going to bring it into the center, and that's just saying make all of the whites very bright. You can see in here the light grays are kind of going white. So we want this to go all the way white, and then we want the blacks to go all the way black, and we're going to do that by grabbing this slider on the left over here and then dragging that into the center, basically so we have a very high contrast picture. And then we're going to hit OK. And so I showed you before a technique of how to use the multiply layer, but I'm going to show you now how to actually take all of this white out of the image entirely. So you're going to go up to Select up here, and then go down to Color Range, and you're going to get this window. And basically, you're going to get this little eyedropper here as well. So you're going to click on a shade of white, any shade of white here. And then it's going to show you down here what your selection is going to be. So we're basically looking to just select the white colors. You can move this slider a little bit just to adjust, but we want to make sure that it's mostly to the right. We want to get most of that white color. And then click OK. You'll notice we get a lot of these marching ants, which is what we want. And then we have over here our background layer. Because we just opened it, it's a regular default background layer. The thing with background layers is that they can't be transparent because they're the background. I don't know why. So basically we have to make it into a normal layer so that we can remove this white and have it be transparent. Otherwise, once we remove all this color, it's just going to be sent to the background color, So I've just set the background color to dark red, and now we can delete that. And it's basically just filling instead of deleting the white. So that's not what we want. Going back into history, if you don't have history, go to Window, History to get that up. So basically we're going to double click on the layer, on the background layer, and then it's going to convert to just a regular layer. So it asks for the name. I'm going to name it Ink. And then there we go. It's a regular layer, and then I'm just going to hit delete. And then you can see we have all of this transparency. You can see the grid behind it. And then once that's done, go to Select and then Deselect so that you don't have anything selected, and we just have this nice transparent line work. So now that that's done, we're going to add in some color to it. So we're going to add a new layer and then drag it under this layer, and we're just going to name this Solid Color. And then I'm going to select a yellow color using the swatches or by clicking on the foreground color over here. Pick a yellow, and then we're going to go to our paint bucket or to fill, and then just click to fill the entire layer with one color. And then I'm also going to get another color, so we're going to kind of blend between them. So I'm going to have another layer here, and then I'm actually going to click and hold on the paintbrush to go to the gradient tool. And then once I'm up in the gradient tool, you can see up in the upper left-hand corner the different gradients you can get. So some of these are presets that we can use. You can also create your own. Basically, you just have these sliders under here that determine the color. If you want to add a new slider, you just click somewhere within the image. And then these kind of show you basically where the gradient should go. I believe you can get opacity in here as well. Yeah, these are the opacity markers, so right now it's 100%. So you could set it to kind of fade out at the end. If you wanted a black, if you wanted it to end in black or something, you add a new arrow down here, and then you click on the color. And then you drag that color down to black. So you can do a lot of different stuff with the gradient. So we're going to get rid of that black for now and just leave it how it was. Also, these little arrows, these little diamonds down here kind of show where the gradient should, where the color should start and stop. So we're going to leave those as default, but feel free to play with them. Anyway, so we have our gradient set, so we're going to click OK. There's no gradient yet, but what we have to do is we're going to click on the canvas, and then we're going to drag with the mouse button still down. If you want the gradient to be straight, you want to hold Shift. Otherwise, you can have it be whichever way, but now I'm going to hold Shift, and it will only let me do 45-degree angles. And then I'm going to pull it down a little bit, and I'll get this nice gradient. Depending on how long this line is, that'll depend on how the gradient is laid down. So if it's a short line, it'll be a short gradient. If it's a longer line, it'll be a longer, wider gradient. So we're going to leave it like this. So we basically have these kind of two color settings for this particular file. I'm also going to go ahead and save this so that I don't forget it. So this is my color shift file. There we go. Again, you want to save that as a PSD file, Photoshop file, and then you want to make sure that the layers are turned on. I'm going to cancel out of there. So at this point, I have some color options, so now I want to go ahead and get some animation going. So I'm going to go to Window and then come all the way down here to the timeline. It's going to give me this timeline window down here. So I'm going to do two things to set it up. I'm going to click this button. This is Create Video Timeline. And then I'm going to go down here to the left to these three boxes and click on that to get this alternate layout. So now that I have that, basically you have this one frame, and we're going to fill this bar up with frames, and then basically Photoshop is going to just cycle through them. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to add about 5 different frames. You can see right now it says 5 seconds. That's how long Photoshop is going to linger on each frame. But I'm actually going to hold Shift and click on the first one to select all of them. And I'm going to change all of the times to 0.1 seconds. So this is going to go through pretty rapidly. I'm also going to go ahead and make a change on this first layer. I want to have it be, I want to have it set to the solid color, and then I want it to go to this gradient color eventually over this number of frames. Add a couple more in there. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to select all of these layers, and then I'm going to go up to this little bouncing ball looking icon. And that is the tween frames icon, and it's basically just set all of these layers to be kind of in-betweeny. So it's very gradually going to change from this solid color gradient, or solid color to the gradient with all of these different layers. So let's take a peek at how it looks. You can see that gradient slowly coming in. We could also probably get it to go out as well. I'm going to add some more frames here at the end. I'm going to set that end frame to be gradient, and then I'm going to set these to be tweened as well here at the end. So it's going to come in as yellow, go to gradient, and then go back out to yellow. So it has a nice little looping function. So you can play with the colors, see how you like it. One other thing that you can do is kind of have other things that are changing as well. So just as a very quick example, I'm going to color in this little triangle here. So I've started a new layer, and I'm using the polygon lasso to select a triangle. Then I'm going to use the fill tool, and I'm going to select some white and just fill it in with white. You can see now it's white for our entire animation. But we can select all of these and turn the layer off so that it's just going to be white in this first frame. And then maybe it's also white here in the center where it's gaining power. Okay, so there we go. So now we have a little bit more interest. We've got some color flashing. You can take this color shifting. You can do the layer, layers turning on and off to have more of a sudden effect. But either way, we've got a nice color shifting, color changing animation effect here. So once you get it how you like it, go ahead and stop. You want to save it again. And then we're going to go to File, Export, and then Save for Web Legacy. And then we click on that. And then we're going to get some presets here. So we're going to go to GIF 128 Gizzard. And that's going to give me a nice amount of colors. And then down here, you have your looping options. We want it to loop forever. You could also set it to loop just once, but it's generally better to set it forever. And then you can test it one last time with this little timeline. So we've got our color shifting. We've got our triangle popping on and off. We're happy. So let's save it to the desktop as a color shift file, .gif. There we go. And if we go back to the desktop now, we can see our GIF file changing away. So there you go. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop me an email and let me know. And hold on for just a second after I finish, because we've got some attributions, some credits for the artist that supplied the art. Okay, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.